think it's working. Okay, hello. I was getting a notification from Facebook that I couldn't record a video, so anyway, good morning. Welcome. I'm going to do just a little bit of housekeeping here. I want to put the links up on the page where you're seeing this so that you can have easy reference to come back to it. So good morning. And while I'm doing a little bit of this housekeeping, you can let me know where you're watching from and say hello to me. Hello, Mom Files, how are you? Remind me where you are watching from, Mom Files, and let me know what are you drinking anything this morning? Okay, let's find this here. There we go, good morning. All right, I'm just adding the links in today of the recipes. Today we're gonna make butternut squash soup and a delicious salad that goes with it. So, I like to say look out Panera, but not really. That might be a little, I don't know, not nice of me to say. So, and then I'm just gonna share this. So, here's a couple things you can do while you're waiting. Go ahead and edit that later. Sorry, clearly I'm not good at multitasking, but okay. If you guys want to share this to your timeline, it'll also be another like easy reference for you to come back and be able to find it easily, which you can totally come back to my page and find it, but you know how so much goes through the feed that it's sometimes hard to find. So if you put it on your timeline, you can. Or maybe you just know someone else that would like to see this or likes to watch live cooking, then you might want to invite them or just share it. So, okay, I'm almost done here. Oh, from South Carolina. Oh, is it beautiful there today? We're actually going to be in the mid-70s, which is pretty unseasonably warm for us this time of year. But the colors are really pretty right now. I actually took a picture off of my deck this morning. I was going to put it up on Instagram. I haven't done it yet, but oh, it's so pretty out there. All right. Give me one more second here. Good morning. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. I love that. Yeah, when I look at it on my computer, it's just a little bit delayed. So, here we go. Just got to do this little housekeeping step here to make sure that, oops, I put it in the wrong, oh goodness. Here we go. All right, so are you guys drinking some coffee this morning? Are you on to the next thing? What's in your cup as you're watching today? All right, I've got one more thing here. If I could just find it. And I can't find it, so. Okay. Good morning, how are you guys? How's everybody doing? Awesome, hi April. Oh, thanks, I appreciate that. Hi Deborah from Fresno. It's early there, so maybe you're drinking coffee. Yep. Definitely coffee, coffee, and more coffee. Yes, this is only my second cup because I've just been preparing this morning. So, welcome, welcome. Hey, Deborah, since you're on, there's those two groups that you and I were talking about. Oh, my phone's ringing. How crazy is that? That has never happened. before. Let's get rid of that. Could you possibly put this, make sure that those are in, those are shared in those groups? I would really appreciate it. All right, let me tell you what's going on. So we are gonna make some butternut squash soup. If you like Panera's autumn squash soup, you will probably like this, but it's not exactly the same as theirs. So please don't compare it. But if you like the idea of that, this is really good. So awesome. Thank you, Deborah. I know there was 3 places I was trying to do that, and I think I accidentally did one of them twice, so my apologies. And then I got another one, but I didn't get the third one. So anyway, let me show you, before we get cut into our squash, I want to show you what's happening in the background. So hang tight. Okay, before I get started on my squash, ooh, we got some nice steam coming. I am going to caramelize some onions, and I didn't want to do these totally ahead of time because I wanted to be able to show you kind of the, you know, the before and the after, the process of it. But caramelized onions are just kind of low and slow. I think I even, yeah, these are even starting. So you can kind of see how they're starting to get brown. So I'm going to keep these on just some low heat, like maybe like a medium low, and then I'll check them. Or Joshua, you want to come say hi? Joshua, my son, is great at like helping me in the kitchen too. So hey, thank you, Deborah, for all of that. I appreciate it. So he might be stepping in and helping me with some different things. But we're gonna get these back on, but you can see they're just raw. So the thing, you can speed them up and do them fast, but then they're not like really caramelized. And so these are gonna go on our salad. So I kind of starting with that, but I wanted you to see the process and not just the finished product. So I wanted to kind of show you. So I'll show you, you know, a little bit here and there what we're doing. All right. So I'm just gonna viewer record. I think we're gonna. You can talk when you're spoken to. Isn't that what that's what my dad used to say, but that's not really true. So, anyways, we're gonna keep an eye on those caramelized onions, and we're gonna talk about butternut squash soup. So I have a hack for you for butternut squash soup, and most recipes that call for it, they want you to take the squash and peel it, and then take the seeds out, and then cut it up. Now, how many of you have ever cut, like peeled and cut a butternut squash? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Hi, Brittany. I'm glad you made it too. Oh, have to get to work, but I can't wait to watch it later. Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. Have a great day at work. Okay, so I'm getting some thumbs up. So you guys have cut squash and peeled it. So how many of you think it's an absolute pain? It's really hard. So what I like to do for my butternut squash soup is actually roast the squash, and you get another dimension level of flavor because you're roasting it. And then it also is just so much easier to prepare. So you do have to do a little cutting, but not a ton of cutting. So, hi Kelly. Easy after you microwave it. Yes, that's another tip, Kelly. Thank you for bringing that up. So I typically just roast mine for this, but you can microwave. I've read that. So Kelly, if that's how you do it, tell us like how long do you microwave it, and then what do you do? Like fill us in. Hi Patricia. Yes, a real pain. I know. Okay, good. You'll like this. So let's get started. I'm just going to cut the stem off first. So you still have to cut, you know, a little bit, but you have to cut a lot less, and you don't have to deal with the peeling, which is really an arm workout. So hey, yes, Deborah, it's a pain. Always afraid you're going to cut yourself. You know what? That's how I feel about my mandolin. I actually have cut myself on my mandolin more than one occasion. So you want a good knife for this. I am using a Cutco brand knife. I was lucky I married into that. My husband, why he had a knife set, I don't know. But I'm just going to cut this. He also had a KitchenAid, so lucky me. I always say he was quite a package. So I'm going to cut that right down the middle in half, and now I'm going to take the seeds out. And I'll just grab a little bowl to set those in. And then I'm actually going to roast or bake the seeds, and we're going to use that as a garnish. So I don't know, have you guys eaten pumpkin seeds before? You can eat squash seeds just the same way. Why don't you go ahead and give the onions a little stir there? So the caramelized onions are pretty low maintenance, but you do need to just kind of move them around every now and then. I'm caramelizing 4 onions right now, which you don't have to do that many, but I really like them, and I got an awesome deal on onions today.
Tell them the story.
I will tell you the story. So, love Cutco. Me too, Brittany. Oh, I want to see what Brittany's saying. Made butternut squash soup before and added apples. Yes, mine calls for apples, Brittany. Your family didn't eat it because it was butternut squash. Oh, do they like the one at Panera? I feel like that one's good, but it uses a couple different kind of squash, and it's super, super sweet, which is great. You can always make something sweeter or less sweet. So mine calls for apples too. So that's a bummer. This recipe actually can be cut in half really easily. Like, you just want to make it for yourself and eat, prep it for your lunches or something. My kids love it and they will eat it. So I'm doing much like we did last week with the pumpkins. Do you guys, if you were here last week, we roasted pumpkins and we made homemade pumpkin puree. So you can go back and watch that one if you're curious how to do it. And we made some muffins. Kelly says 3 minutes. Okay, let it cool a couple of minutes and then I cut it in half. Then scoop out seeds and peel. Oh, so you actually are cutting it before you're peeling it. New to actually eating it and love it. Oh, that's great. I roast after in the oven without. Okay, yep. So I just skip the peeling altogether with this method because we're going to do it after the oven. So, but I think what I'm understanding from what Kelly's saying is that the microwave is softening it up a little bit, and so it's helping you do it, or helping you cut into it easier. One thing I will say about butternut squash is that it really dries your hands out. So a lot of times I will wear rubber gloves, like my kitchen gloves. Okay. These are going to go face down on my tray, and we are going to roast them at 375 for about an hour. Maybe 45 minutes. Now, don't be worried because I've had some pre-done so we can start working on our soup, okay? So, let's see, what am I missing here? I gotta go and look here because it's so hard for me to see my phone from that far away. Let's see. Although these comments are usually a little bit delayed. Okay. Oh, Liverpool, UK. Hello, Olive. Thank you for joining us. First one is easier to peel than the second, maybe since I had a little bit. Okay, all right, Kelly. So next, we are gonna start working on our soup. I've got my onions going. I'm gonna roast the squash, but I did pre-roast some squash, so I will show that to you in just a couple minutes. But first, we're gonna start with our onion. So I realized this morning that I didn't have enough onions in the house. And so I ran to the store to get a bag of onions. So I really like to buy these sweet onions, and they come in like a 5-pound bag from Meijer, because that's my local grocery store that's here. And they were buy one, get one free. So I was super excited. I was like, oh, I can get 10 pounds of onions for $5. And then I went to check out, and our store does like a little reward system. I'm sure if you're not from around here, yours does too. Hi, Dennis. Lots of great tips. Thanks for sharing them with us. Oh, thank you, Dennis. Thank you. That's a big compliment coming from you. So anyway, yeah, so I go to check out, and our grocery store has like this reward system, and they're like, would you like to apply $5 to your basket? I was like, yes, I would. So I got 10 pounds of onions for free. So when I was going to caramelize onions, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to just do a little extra. So, okay, you guys have probably all seen different ways to chop onions. I'm just going to show you what works best for me, okay? Hi, Kathy. I like to get a big bag of onions, chop them up, and freeze them. I have done that before too. It's awesome. Yes, that's awesome. We put them like in small portions. A friend of mine and I, we did that at one point in time too. We were crying like babies. We used the food processor. So for this, I'll just demonstrate for you really quick how I slice the onions for the caramelized, and then I'll show you how I'm going to slice them for the soup. Okay, so one thing with your knife, I'm going to just wipe this off. I've got squash on it. I am using a chef's knife. I really like this. They come in different sizes, so whatever kind of feels comfortable in your hand. But you want to make sure, how many of you use a knife like this where you have your finger on the blade? I want to just say that, stop doing that if you are. You want to actually grab the knife with your thumb and your forefinger. So it's okay to grab that blade. And so I'm going to go ahead and just slice these. I sliced the onion in half once. I actually should back up. So I sliced off the end that's not the root, and then I sliced it in half, then I peeled it. And now I'm just kind of making these little half moon shapes, right? The part of the onion that makes your eyes water, the strong scent, that comes from the root. So if you can cut into that less or wait a little while before you do, that should help. But now I have these little half moon shapes. And so one thing that I found to be really easy, and I didn't keep these real in order like I normally do because multitasking, I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to slice them now this way. Make sure you keep those knuckles, those fingers down. Keep those knuckles up. Grab onto your blade. And then you can just dice up those onions. You just want to push them right through. So that's what I found to be easiest. I know I've seen all the fun, fancy ones where you slice them like this, and then it's all comes out nice and fancy and beautiful, but this is just what I do. Joshua, can you take the stuff out of that pan a moment, please? Okay, so let me slice the other half of this really quick.
What about the butter?
Yeah, well, you can unwrap it.
Oh, I didn't realize it was wrapped.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, you can unwrap it. That's fine. I'm going to use butter in this soup. You can always use olive oil as well if you want to. It's fall, and I mean, butter makes it all better, right? So butter makes it better. Did I say that right? Onion soup freezes nicely too. Yes, thank you. Love, love onions. Hi, Hannah. I don't think, Dennis, that I've frozen onion soup. You know, I really have to make a lot of extra stuff if I'm going to freeze anything because my family just eats it all. Sometimes I have to take leftovers out before I serve my meal. All right, so I'm going to work on my little cooktop here just so that I can show you this right close up. I don't know how great of a view you're going to have, so I will make sure that I am kind of showing you. So let me get this on here, get it warmed up. Where's the butter?
Right here.
Okay, so we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of butter. And then I'm going to put my onions in here, and we're going to give those a little saute. All right. Joshua, can you get that good stuff and cleaned up for me? Now, I wanted to show you the butternut squash when it comes out afterwards. I'm a little premature here. I should have showed you that first. So I'll do that a second. I'll just move this off to the side while the butter is melting. We'll just let that go low for a few minutes. Let's see if I can move this. That pot looks really high, doesn't it? And show you a little bit over here. All right. Okay, so here we go. Pull and then stir the onions.
Okay.
Yep, you gotta keep stirring them. Okay, so can you guys see this? This is what it looks like after they are all roasted, and I can just scoop this right out. Can you guys see it okay? I'm just gonna throw it in a bowl for right now. And it just peels right away from the skin. Hi, Maria. I'm up. I can't see my phone. Let's see. I want to see what Maria's saying. Oh, thanks. Oh, it's not Maria. It's Marissa. See? Because I can't see. Thank you, Marissa. Appreciate that. Love, love, love onions. Me too. Hola. Okay. You have a fancy name. Adelaida? Should I not even try? Am I totally botching it? I just want to talk to you guys. Looks delicious. Thanks, Deborah. Oh, hi, Amy. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Hi, Sarah. Hello, hello, hello. My son is an amazing helper. Maria. Oh, see, I did see a Maria on there. I'm not crazy. Yeah, actually, he does a lot of stuff in the kitchen on his own, so we like to teach him young. He's not all that young anymore, but give those onions a little stir there. All right. So you guys can see how easy that is going. Okay. Let's pop over here. Make sure I'm telling you guys the right thing. Okay, so the next thing I need to do, I really should have chopped my apple first, because you know this is just live video, right? Like I've spent all morning getting ready, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. So I'm gonna have you scoop this out, okay? Right over here, since you're such a good helper, and just don't get any skin in there. And then I'm gonna slice up my apples real quick, because that's the next thing that needs to go in here after the onions. All right. And these onions, we just really want to get them a little translucent, so they are getting there. Can you guys see that? Okay. Now, apples. What kind of apples can you use in this? Hi, Michelle. Actually, is it Lucas that's watching? Hi, Jody. How long did you cook the squash? Excellent question. So the squash I do at 375 for 45 minutes to an hour. Kind of depends on how big they are. But I do them, cut them, slice them lengthwise in half, and then on the tray, flesh side down. Make sure I say that right. Hello, smiley face. Yes. Okay, so it must be Lucas watching. All right, let's talk about apples. So you can use really any kind of apple in this soup. I've used Honeycrisp because it's like our all-time favorite, but I've used Graham Spies. I've used a lot of different varieties, so you really can't go wrong. But just it will alter the flavor just a teeny tiny bit. So you're welcome, Judy. So this is a crispin, also known as a mutsu. I don't know if you guys have ever used it. You can see it's a pretty large apple. And actually I want to peel it first. These are really, really naturally sweet apples, and so that's why I like to use them, because I don't like to cook with a lot of sugar. And so I like to, you know, anything I can just kind of cut back on that. So I'm just going to peel these. I'm just sort of doing it the old-fashioned way. You could, if you wanted to, you know, you can use like a, I guess maybe this will be faster, you can use like a vegetable peeler on it if you want, but we just want to get the skin off, and we're going to just chop it up. The crispin or the mutsu is the kind of apple that I use for my homemade applesauce, and they're usually in season in October, at least where I live in Michigan. So they come out a little bit of a later, they're a little later in the season. But they're ultra sweet, and they're still a nice crisp apple. They're slippery. They're still a nice crisp apple if you just like to eat them how they are. But because they're so naturally sweet, when I make my applesauce, I don't add any sugar to my applesauce. Like zero, none. So, love apples, me too. We're making homemade apple butter. Oh, Amy, I need to make some more apple butter. I actually made some. I tested a recipe, and it was super delicious. And so now I just want to go back and photograph it so I can get it up on my blog. What kind of apples do you like to use, Amy, in yours? I used ginger golds in my last one because I made it early, like it was probably August when I made it. I can't believe that much time has gone by. And I wanted something with that little gingery kind of flavor to it. I thought that'd be really good. And I made it in my Instant Pot, and it was awesome. So,
I don't think the squash is like me that very much.
Are you having trouble back there?
Yes.
All right, I'll be there to help you in just a minute. Let me give these onions a stir here. They're getting a little more than translucent, so we need to start getting our stuff in there. All right, so let's turn that down. I tell you, it's like, they're right about multitasking. You just cannot, I usually don't go as fast, but anyway, that's okay, because we're having fun. Usually use 4 different kinds of apples. Ooh, awesome. Is it Tanisha? Hi, good morning from Arizona. Ooh, it's early there. Love trying new recipes. Thanks for sharing. Can't wait. Oh, good. Thank you for being here, Tanisha. And if I said your name wrong, just tell me. And Inez, I just bake apples. I just did a recipe for baked apples also. I do a lot with apples. But I made them a little like healthier topping, you know, if you care. So how do you guys like to eat? Do you like to eat healthy? Are you like, I don't care, I eat anything? What's kind of your personality style? I'm sort of live by the philosophy that everything in moderation. That's kind of what I like to do. But if there's a way to just vary a recipe to make it a little bit more good for you, then I like to do that. And I am doing that in my butternut squash soup as well, even though it's already good for you. So, okay, so I have my apples. Crispins are very big apples, and this recipe calls for 2 butternut squash and 2 large apples. But I am feeding 6 people, and we like to have leftovers, so I am making a lot. So you can very easily cut this recipe in half, or you can freeze it. This recipe turns out super creamy. It's wonderfully amazing, and there's not even any cream in it. So, you make it in the crock pot, Amy. Yes, I've done it before too, and I went to try Instant Pot. It was great. I did it in an hour. But I love crock pot too. I'm all about that. We eat healthy at your house for sure, Kathy says. Moderation with a big glass of wine. I love that. Oh. And Paloma says, oh, good morning from Northern California. Good morning. I have family in Northern California, Sacramento and Placerville. So, okay, I'm just going to give these a chop. And this is ready to go in. So normally I would chop these before I start my onions, but I just got a little bit too excited. How you doing? Will you bring that bowl of squash over?
Sure.
All right.
There's still more squash on the pan though. I tried.
Did you get
It hurts my fingers.
There's just a little. Let's just get that. Okay. Oh, you did good. You did good. Okay. So, it depends how nitpicky you want to be on it. So I'm just kind of dicing these up in squares. I'm throwing them in. Now, one of the things I like to do, just to make this, add a little protein and make it a little healthier, is I use chicken broth with it. But this is very easily, could be done with vegetable broth if you wanted to. And I go a step further than chicken broth. I actually make my own homemade bone broth. Hold on 1 second here, guys. Got a little glitch. So you didn't know I had a camera up here, did you? I just gave it away. 1 privilege. Okay, so I make homemade bone broth, and I do that like when we use one of our chickens. I have a local source for chickens, and put that over there. And so I actually get my eggs from them, and then I also get meat chickens from them. And so they're, you know, they're free range, organic kind of thing. So they are awesome for making bone broth with. And so I'll do that, and then I just keep it in my freezer. And bone broth, if you're not familiar with it, is really, really good for you. So it has so much more nutrients. So there's nothing wrong with using regular chicken stock, or chicken broth, excuse me, but that's just one thing that I do to make it a little bit more exciting. Okay, I need these cleaned up, if you could, please. Okay, that would be great. So, all right, let's see if we can get back in order here. Move this a little bit more to the front. All right, and just give it a little stir. So I've got my onions in here. Can you guys see that? And I just put my apples in here. I'm gonna put my squash in here that's all nice and soft, that I didn't have to fight with, which makes me super happy. And now I'm going to add my broth. So 3 cups of chicken broth, or vegetable broth, or bone broth if you want. I just stocked this up in the freezer. All right, so now what's going to happen is we're going to just let this simmer and cook for a little while. We want those apples to get nice and soft. So I'm going to add a couple other things to this, some seasonings. So I have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can use, you can do more sugar if you think you want it sweeter. It's such a small amount that I don't really sub it out for anything. But oftentimes, like, I do try to not eat sugar, so a lot of times I'll use like a Truvia or something like that that is stevia-based, all-natural. I'm very, very picky about my sweeteners that aren't sugar. So, and then I have here just 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I have some salt. You can do about 3/4 teaspoon of salt, or just to taste. So you guys, if I miss one of your comments, feel free to just type it in again. It's kind of tough for me to see it this far from the phone, but I do have my computer here. So type it again, and also just know that I will go back through afterwards and I will hit anything that I missed. So, hi from Maryland. Hi, Jeanette. Love apples. Did I miss anything? I know this is a little bit delayed. Try to eat healthy. Good. Maybe I need a little refresher in here. See if you can catch up on. Did I see Chattanooga, Tennessee? Hello. Good afternoon from Pennsylvania. Is it afternoon already? Almost. See, not enough coffee this morning. 3-year-old and a 9-month-old says hi. Oh, hello, hello, hello. All right, I'm gonna get this. You love squash soup? Me too, Melissa. Hi, Carrie from Tennessee. And then is it Maggie? I'm sorry, you guys. From Scotland. Are you friends with the Nortons? I just have to know. She loves Scotland. And what is that show that she watches all the time? Lucas, what is that show that your mom watches? Outlander. Oh my goodness. Youngstown, Ohio. Hi. Kaya. Is it Kaya? I can't see. No, Kasaya. Kasaya Johnson. Hello. My daughter's name is Shaya, so it reminded me. Okay, I'm going to cover this, and we are just going to let it go. Can you stir the onions? I'm going to give you a little, hang on one second. What I'm going to do, I'm going to trade this out now and throw this back on my stove so that I have a little more space up here, okay? give you a little peek at the onions. Low and slow. Let's see if I can get these in here. Can you guys see that? So they're starting to caramelize and get nice and brown. I'm just going to keep this on real low heat. What's that noise?
This stove.
Oh, it's this thing. What is that noise? So I'm going to get this out of the way now.
From Chicago.
From Chicago, across the lake. Hello. Oh, hi, Anu. How are you? You know what, Anu? I forgot you were in Chicago. I felt like you were farther away for some reason, like California. I don't know. Okay, so thanks to my soup. Now, here's what we're going to do while that soup is simmering. All right, I just want those apples to cook down. So now what we're going to do is start preparing our salad. So I'm going to slice up a few vegetables. This is, and fruits. You wish you were in California. Yeah. Hello from, oh, hi Gloria. Hello from California. My mom jumped when she heard the word Scotland. Oh, that's hilarious. Yes. Someone is watching from Scotland. I just thought maybe it was friends of yours. Oh, Hawaii, my favorite. Awesome. I love Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I haven't been there in too long. Sounds delicious. I can't wait to try it. Oh, thank you, Katie. Okay, so let me get started on slicing up some things for this salad, okay? This salad is an autumn salad or fall salad, whatever you want to call it. I don't really have a super fancy name, but yeah, thank you. We're going to use some pears. These are Bosch pears. That's what's in season right now. We're going to use cucumbers, some mixed greens, and some blackberries, some cheese, some nuts, and I'm going to do a homemade dressing. And we're going to put caramelized onions on it as well. So, but I have the link in the post, so above me or below me, wherever you're watching from, I have a link to the actual recipe. And if you go to that recipe with that fall salad, you will find that there is 1,001 ways to add variations to it and just create so many different things. Wish Texas some luck. Oh yes, Kimberly. That's such a cute, neat way to spell Kimberly. That's adorable. For sure. I know a lot of people in Texas too. Aloha, aloha girl, what's cooking? Gwenny. Okay, Gwenny, we're making butternut squash soup. It says it right on the thing where you're watching. Butternut squash soup. It has apples in it. It's super delicious. And we are making a fall salad. So we have a couple things going right now. So here is my cucumber. I'm just going to do this one first. Joshua, can you get the greens, the salad greens, and the blackberries and the cheese all out of the refrigerator, please? And again, I have a nice large family. Not as large as some people, but they eat. They eat. So I'm doing a whole cucumber. So just set it down right there for me. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Actually, if you want to put it in the bowl, you can. Okay. Not the cheese, just the lettuce. If you don't have enough room over there, you can go over there. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to slice these. I'm going to do cucumber halves. Hello from sunny South Africa. Hi, Nicholas. Thanks for joining us. Hello, hello. Hi, Rula. All right. Oh, I think you said something and I missed it. So I'm just going to slice up these cucumbers. You can do them any way you want. You can do whole slices if you want. You can do like little chunks if you want. I just think the halves kind of look pretty, so that's why I like to do that. But oftentimes when I'm making a salad for my family, because I still have some younger children, I'll just cut it into chunks because it's easier for them to eat. That way you can, eat it in one bite. So, Mississippi is in the house. Nan, hi Nan. Hello from Ohio. I was in Ohio last week. Where in Ohio are you? I was in Cleveland, which really just makes me think of Does anyone remember I'm going to show my age here. There was a show with Drew Carey, and it was like Cleveland Rocks, and there was like this character, Mimi, with like tons of eye makeup on. I can't remember the name of it. Canton. All right. Hello from Colorado. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I've got some nice cucumbers cut up. Now I'm going to do some pears. I think I'm going to do about 2. Again, you guys can always just, you know, add to this if you want to. You just put as much as you want. Salads are, you know, pretty loose as far as measurements. Yeah, give those onions a stir. So glad I have him here. I've got too much going on at once. So in these, I'm going to slice them really thin. Again, with your knife, make sure you're holding onto your blade. Make sure you've got your knuckles so that you don't slice your fingers off, because that's never a good thing. So I like to slice pears just in these little, in these slices. So my son, as somebody mentioned, is a great helper, but I think he hears the garbage. I think he's running to put the garbage out right now. So I'm going to check these onions a minute. They're looking really good, and they smell really good. All right, good. Let's keep going with our pears. So I'm going to do 2 pears today. I love to make salads that have a combination of fresh fruit and dried fruit and nuts and cheese. I'm not putting any dried fruit in it today, but a little seed stuck in there. So you think my little boy is hungry? Yeah, he's always hungry because he's almost a teenager. Hi from Florida. Hi. Welcome. Thank you for coming. What kind of knives do you have? They seem so sharp. Yes, great question. I have a Cutco knife. Terry from Michigan. Hi, Terry. How are you? There are several brands of good knives. This one is Cutco. It is a very, I mean, these run, I put a link to it in the header of my post on Facebook. This runs over $100. You can find a lot of different good knives. I think one of the main things is like the longer that the knife is, or not the longer, the more expensive the knife is, the higher the quality, the longer it's going to last. So these knives are at least 16 years old. I'm not sure when my husband got them, like prior to us being married, but he did have them. And we've been married for 16 years, I think. So anyways, so that's what it is. It's a Cutco. But I also have like Wusthof as a knife brand. And I also have a couple of knives that we used to host international students at our house while they were in school to learn English. And one of the students brought me, for my birthday one year, he bought me this knife set, which came from, it is J.A. Henkel's. It's Henkel's, see, I couldn't even remember. And he bought them just from our like local Meijer, which is like, has great groceries, but they're like, what's Meijer like if you're not from around here?
An everything store.
An everything store, he says. So, hi from Utah. Hi, Sydney. Homeschool. Yeah, do you say your name Fitzy? Is it Fitzy? PH like that? He is homeschooled, yes. So anyways, back to the knives. See? Can't do 2 things at once. So this came as a set. There's a longer one and a shorter one. And I really, really enjoyed these as well. The Cutco one, which is even longer, is a lot heavier. I've had these maybe 6 or 7 years, so they've still lasted me a long time. I think it's important to get your knives professionally sharpened every now and then. And, you know, professional chef, I actually have heard lots of different opinions from people that have actually are professional chefs and have gone through culinary school. Hi, Alaska. Hi, Judy. Thanks for coming. Yeah, like Walmart. Thank you, Fitzy. So, yeah. So, did you put all of those greens in here? Mm-hmm. Okay, we need a little bit less so I have room for some of the other stuff. So I hand that back to you really quick. Okay. So that's what this is. Now, here's the other thing. You can get a great little knife sharpener at home, too. Cutco actually came with one because you can buy a whole set of these, like in a knife block, and it came with one. Homeschool is the best. Aww. Oh, that's awesome, Angela. I actually have some in school, and then he's still homeschooled. We kind of take it year by year. And this year I've got 3 in school, and then he's homeschooled. He actually has no desire to go to school, but you can see why. So, it's actually Mitzi, but I have a catering business called Fitzy's because my husband's name is Phil. Oh, I love that. Hi, Mitzi. That is so cute. That's awesome. Okay, so salad obviously doesn't need a lot of instruction, right? Just put your ingredients in. So I'm adding my cucumbers. And for this bowl, maybe I did a few too many. And then I'm gonna add my pears. And if you wanna be all fancy and lay these out, you can chunk these too if you want to. I just, again, like I don't know, they're so pretty. So I just like them that way. But I'm just gonna put this together. And then, as I mentioned earlier, if you look at the blog post, you'll see so many different ways to change this up. So I really like to anchor all my meals with protein. So you could put chicken or salmon or something like that on this salad to give you a boost of protein. You could, and serve it more as a main dish rather than a side dish. So that's just something. We're doing a side dish today. So, and then I'm gonna throw some blackberries in here because they're beautiful. I rinsed them, but I missed something. There we go. So, and then the nuts. Can you stir the onions? Actually, I'll do those next. Where's my cheese? Okay, and then I'm gonna use goat cheese. So, you're welcome, Mitzi. Oh, you homeschool also? Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. You love fruit in your salads. Oh, me too, Dennis. Hey, Dennis, I know that you're a chef, so, if I'm saying something wrong, I give you permission to correct me. I don't claim to be a culinary genius. I just am very passionate about my food. And I'm also passionate about people knowing how to make real food and how to eat real food rather than like processed ingredients. So those are really like my strong passions. So this is goat cheese. I love a nice, tangy, pungent cheese. So I'm using goat cheese on the salad. You could use blue cheese, you could use gorgonzola cheese, you could use cheddar cheese, you could use mozzarella cheese, fresh mozzarella if you want to. So you have, endless options. Just do what you like. But I do love this flavor combination of the blackberries and the pears and the goat cheese. And then the onions, which we're gonna do next. Okay. I learned many years ago, never turn your back to the camera, but I have been. Thanks for the hearts, you guys. You're rocking the house. Thanks, Dennis. You're awesome. Okay, trying to keep up and everything. So, can you guys see these?
Yes, I love goat cheese.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Josh was helping me by reading comments. So, now normally I would let these cool, okay, before I put them on my salad, but I'm not because we're on live TV. So, not TV. You guys know what I mean. So we're just gonna make some exceptions here. So I'm gonna put these on, and I have like tons of extra.
What about using feta cheese?
Yes, feta cheese would be excellent. I love feta cheese.
Carrie, hello from Kentucky.
Hello, Kentucky. I used to have relatives that lived in Bowling Green, but they moved. Okay, and then we're gonna put on some nuts. I also love nuts, and the same thing goes. So you guys can put walnuts, or seeds are really good too. Pumpkin seeds, not sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. There we go.
That salad looks amazing.
Oh, thanks, Deborah. I'm super excited for lunch. Okay, so I just have, there's that, and then I'm going to check on the soup a second with you guys, and then we'll whip up some dressing super quick. So set that off to the side there. And I will set this. I'm just going to bring my pot of soup right over. guys, this smells so good. Yum. All right, let's see how my apples are doing here. Yep, they're nice and soft. All right, it looks like you can see a little bit. I'll try to give you a better view here. I'll tip it. You guys see that? So it's just kind of all in there, right? So now we're gonna blend it up. You can do this a couple ways. I'm gonna use an immersion blender this morning. Actually, I'm hoping, here, you know what I need to do? Unplug that. Be real careful over there.
Okay.
Unplug that and plug it in up here. My cord's not quite long enough. So this is an immersion blender, and this is a great way if you don't want to transfer your soup into a blender. Honestly, I typically do transfer my soup to a blender. I have a Vitamix. I absolutely adore it. I think it's worth every cent. Hello from New York. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Deb.
You're making me hungry.
Niagara Falls. Ooh, Canada. Hello from London. Oh, hello, Brandon. Hi, Brandon. I'm making you hungry. Oh, good, Mitzi. It's lunchtime. Okay. I know. I'm going to have a great lunch today, and then we're going to have this for dinner, too. So here's the immersion blender, and I put a link to this on the post as well. So, and just so you guys know, those are Amazon links, and I am an affiliate, and I get a cut from it, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, and don't feel obligated to order through there. Just wanted to be able to show you what I was using so that you could look it up for yourself if you're interested in anything. So it looks yummy. It is. Okay, so we're gonna blend this up. So what I was telling you is I normally would just transfer this into my Vitamix because I love my Vitamix, and it makes super delicious, smooth, velvety texture soups. So if you like that kind of thing, and I always tell people too, if you're gonna get a Vitamix, like, don't just buy it for a smoothie, because a blender can make a smoothie. Yes, the Vitamix will make it even smoother than a typical blender. Like if you don't like spinach pieces in your smoothie, but you like spinach in your smoothie, Vitamix. But there's so much more that you can do with it. So I use mine like almost daily. So I'm just gonna immersion blender. What? I'm just gonna put, he scares me. He's like making weird noises in here. And it's gonna take me a minute to do this. Can you guys hear me over it? Sorry. What's all the ingredients in your soup from Florida? Hi, Howard. You know what, Howard? I'll give you a quick rundown, but I did put a link in the post, so it will take you right to the blog, and the recipe is right there. But we have butternut squash, and we have apples, chicken broth, and onions, salt and pepper, cinnamon, a little bit of brown sugar, and we're going to finish it off with some nutmeg. All right. Now, this is going to take me a little bit longer in here. Hi from St. Thomas on Canada. Hello. Everything looks so sweet. Oh, thank you so much. You guys, I did, looks like a bowl of sick. Thanks, Jason. Anyway, I did link the recipes in here so you can go straight to the page and see all the measurements of the ingredients and everything else. And you can even print that right out if you want to. So, my apples are nice and soft, so they are breaking down, but the immersion blender does take a little bit longer. But it's definitely great if you don't want to move your hot soup. Read me some comments, Joshua.
Hi there from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Pennsylvania.
What does butternut squash taste like? I'm new to eating healthy.
Ooh, Angela, it's so good.
I love it with just a little bit of sage.
Sage is wonderful with it. So one of the things that's great about butternut squash soup is you can eat it really more savory or more sweet. So
hello from down.
So Angela, you can roast it and eat it plain, like just chunked up with a little bit of cinnamon on it, or make it more savory with a little bit of sage. You can do, what we're doing is making soup with it. So, but what does it taste like? Have you had any other types of squash, Angela? Like, acorn or buttercup, or it's definitely a sweeter one.
You use a pressure cooker.
I didn't use a pressure cooker for this recipe today, but I do have a pressure cooker and I really like it. So that would be one thing that would be fun, would be to try to convert this recipe to an Instant Pot recipe for a pressure cooker.
So you actually use the soup as a dip?
Soup is what?
So you actually use the soup as a dip?
No, I just eat the soup.
Pumpkin LO.
Like soup. Do I mean a pressure cooker? An Instant Pot is a pressure cooker.
I'm buying an immersion blender this weekend.
Oh, yay! Hi, Lisa. This one is...
Where did you get that hand mixer?
Okay, this one is a KitchenAid immersion blender. There's lots of different brands that make them. You could probably find wherever KitchenAid sells, you could find this one, like Meijer. I don't know if Walmart has them. I have seen them at Meijer. Of course, you can get it on Amazon. Bed Bath & Beyond would have it. And then maybe you can use a coupon. What did I say? What was funny? Yes, I'm going to top the soup. Thanks, Mitzi. I'm going to top the soup with some squash seeds that I baked this morning. Okay, so let me show you this. Now we have it all pureed, and you can see, I probably need to puree a little bit more. There's a couple little lumps in there, but you can see for the most part what it looks like. And then, Josh, will you grab me one of those white bowls that's in the hutch over there? So then I'm gonna finish this off in a couple minutes with a little bit of fresh nutmeg and a little bit of squash seeds. So let me tell you about those really quick. I'll do that like in the bowl. These are squash seeds. I just took them out of the squash and I rinsed them off really well, and then I boiled them for, and this part is not written down in the recipe, but boil them for about 10 minutes. And then you like a lot of chunk. Mitzi likes a lot of chunk in her soup, so don't puree it as much. That's awesome.
Where are they?
In the top. So anyways, seeds, just like you do pumpkin seeds, if you have a favorite pumpkin seed recipe, you can do the same thing with your squash seeds. I just used it because I thought, well, let's just use as much of this as we can. We've done it before, they taste great. So rinse them off really good, get all the pulp off, boil them for about 10 minutes, and then I kind of lay them out on some paper towels and just get that extra moisture. Put them out on a baking sheet with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt. That's all I did. And then I baked them at 300, tossing them every 10 minutes for about 30 minutes. But my pumpkin seeds, I do a little bit longer, so they're a little smaller, and that's probably why. So,
This one?
Yep, that's great. So, and I just wanted to show you that dressing really quick, but I will show you this nutmeg while I have it in my hand. So, this is a whole nutmeg, and if you can get this whole, I would highly, highly recommend it because it's amazing. Like, the flavor is so much more intense when it's fresh. There's nothing wrong with ground nutmeg. You can totally buy that. It's more convenient, but anyway, thank you, Carrie. And so, anyways, yes, Angela, I see that. So, microplane. This is how to grate fresh nutmeg. If you don't have a microplane, this is one of my favorite tools to use in the kitchen. You can zest lemons and any citrus fruits with it. You can grate Parmesan cheese with it, or chocolate, and you can do nutmeg. What I like it on citrus for is sometimes when I'm trying to grate citrus, I get that white pith in there, and that is a little bit more bitter. So anyways, this is just the whole nutmeg, and it lasts forever. Like, as long as you use it, it lasts. So I would just rub this on my microplaner.
I smash, have fun.
Over my soup.
Whole nutmeg lasts longer and stays fresher too.
Yes, agreed, it does.
Microplanes
so
are a must. I love mine.
Oh, yeah, who said that? Dennis? Yes, me too. So, and here's one tip that I did. If you ever need to like measure, because when you do it, it kind of goes everywhere. So it's great for like a little garnish, but if you need to measure fresh nutmeg, I just flip my microplane over to the other side and just kind of do it upside down. And then, I don't know if you guys can, how well you could see that. Can you see that? It collects in there. So then I could actually pour it out and measure it if I needed to, okay? So that's how you do that, and it smells so amazing. All right, so I'm gonna whip up some salad dressing. Joshua, why don't you ladle some of this into a bowl, into this bowl.
Okay.
Okay?
Where's the ladle?
It's in the drawer that we always keep it in.
Okay.
Okay, so homemade salad dressing. Let me tell you what my go-to is all the time. Could you use garlic with the microplane? Carrie, I've never tried it. Dennis, have you ever used garlic with a microplane? I usually mince it, or I use a garlic press. Here's a garlic press. It's just, you know, if I need to cook fast, then I like my garlic press. If I want less to clean, I just chop it real fine. So I'll just use a knife. So it just kind of depends. So I'm gonna do just a easy balsamic vinaigrette, and I'll tell you what my go-to is all the time, which is not fancy, are these two ingredients: olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. And for my personal taste, I don't even need anything more than that in my salad, and I love it. But we're gonna make it a little bit more fancy today. So with just a couple extra ingredients, can you get that off? And I'm gonna mix this in a very fancy jam jar. Okay, now you can adjust this dressing also to your taste, so it's really flexible. It's just one of the things I like about cooking is there are, you know, kind of certain guidelines, but there's so much freedom to do what you want. Dennis has not tried garlic. Okay, use my microplane for cinnamon. Yes, cinnamon is great, Deborah. That's a great idea. Oh, thank you. Is it Simone? Is that how you say your name? Thank you so much. The soup is awesome, and it's linked. My loves some fresh basil in her. Basil in her dressing. Oh yeah, Dennis. I love fresh basil. So, anyways,
is it new?
Yeah, it's new. You just have to take that this tab here. Did you find it? There's a little tab right here, and that will take out. I should have pre-opened it. So I'm just using a jam jar to mix this up because it's easy. You can use a dressing jar, whatever. I like my my dressing. I like balsamic vinegar, so I do 2 parts olive oil to 1 part balsamic vinegar, and I totally eyeball it. I don't really even measure it. But if vinegar, if you like a lesser strong taste from the vinegar, then just do like 3 parts to 1 part. So some people even do half and half. So you're gonna have to really reward yourself. He is, yes, Mitzi, he is. He will get rewarded with food. He likes that. You look so familiar. Were you ever in the Food Network? Really, Kate? No, I never have. That's super fun. Food Network channel. Someone told me I look like somebody. Yeah, it was on the what's the channel that we don't get?
HGTV.
HGTV. Someone told me I look like someone in there, but I don't remember her name. So soup is my most favorite, any kind, hot, weather, or cold. Oh, Rita, I'm so with you. It's another great tip for mixing your dressing easily. Thanks, Dennis. All right, so I'm just gonna pour this in here.
Hope you don't need this anytime soon.
And then we're gonna fight a little bit more with our bottle. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna hold this up. And I'm totally eyeballing it. That's not enough vinegar for me. Okay, just need a little bit more. Yeah, that's about right for me. Okay, so see, it's very simple. And then I'm going to add a squirt. You could do, you know, if you're making a large amount too, you could do like maybe a tablespoon. It's really your choice. This is so funny because the woman on the show had a son that helped her do, really? Oh my, we have a twin? Oh, I have to check this out. That'd be great. Okay. Some soups taste cold, this is one. You know what, John? My husband eats leftovers cold all the time. He could care less if they're warmed. I like them like reheated, but so he would totally eat it cold. I think Dennis okay, so anyways, I'm gonna do a squirt. See how my measuring tablets are? This is just Dijon mustard. Squirt. It is Grey Poupon. They're not paying me to tell you that. Actually, I usually don't necessarily go for the name brand all the time. It just depends where I'm at. But I have to say that as I was comparing the containers to the other brands that were there, the other brands were really light in color, and it just didn't look as pretty. That is the honest truth, even though they had the same ingredients. Interesting. Okay. So I've got that, and then if you want to sweeten it up a little bit, maple syrup in my fancy ketchup bottle. This is what I do so that my kids don't get too much syrup. So there's a tip for pancakes, because they have a tendency to put more on than they need. So, all right, it's that simple. Shake it up. What am I missing? Okay, Angela, can you tell me how to do that? Because I don't know how to block somebody on Facebook. But if anyone can do it, I know, then tell me how to do that. Okay, that's it. There's our dressing. See how pretty that is? Maybe. Does that look pretty to you guys? Looks pretty to me. Okay, so there's my dressing that I would put on top of here. And then here is my lovely bowl of soup, okay, and my squash seeds. Then I'm just gonna sprinkle a few of those on top. And then we have a little bit of fresh nutmeg, which I kind of already had some in there, so I don't know, is there such thing as too much nutmeg? Maybe not. So there you go, soup, and then I'm gonna have some salad, and I'm hungry, and it's lunchtime. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, friend, for all of your comments. This is, oh, Dennis, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, what a huge compliment. You guys are so kind to me. So thank you for joining in. I'm here every Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And then, where to go to get the recipe. Thank you, Rita. So the recipe, if you look in the Facebook post of where this video is playing, it shows different on mobile than on regular. So like right now it's above me, but if you're catching us on the replay, it might be below me. But it gives a little description that says see more. You gotta click on the see more button. And then the link to the recipe will say butternut squash soup, and there'll be a link that you can click right over to the recipe. And the same thing with the fall salad, which also in the post on the fall salad, I give you lots of other ways to change this up and add different things to it. And so that's where Dennis just linked it. Thank you so much, Dennis. That's where the recipes are. Also, if you like to eat healthier and you're not really sure where to start with that, or maybe you are, I do have just a free printable. You can print it out if you want to, or just save it on your computer, of clean eating swaps. So just things that you can swap out to make your diet a little bit healthier. Like instead of sugar, use honey or use maple syrup. So just some things like that that will give you a little more health conscious things. So the link to that is on this post as well. You just click it, sign up. You'll be signing up for my newsletter. I will send that to you right away. And if you're not interested in the newsletter, if it's not of value to you, just unsubscribe. It's not a big deal. So, all right. You could pin the link too. Yes, you could. Thank you. John, you have a nice day too. Thank you, Angela. Okay, yeah, I'll have to, that's like my answer to everything, Google. So, okay. All right, thank you. Every Friday, 11 o'clock. And if I missed your question or comment, I will go back through and address it if there's something that I missed. But thank you for joining. You guys have an awesome day.